Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room. And we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. That's fielded in the end zone. Spinning past him. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
It's coming now.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
It's coming now.
Prescott now on second down. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. That one goes for 24 yards.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that'll open things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where he, their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. The give is to Elliott, fighting him off. And not much running room. Down to the 32. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Prescott to throw it. And he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. The 4-time All-Pro, J.J. Watt. And that'll bring up 4th down. And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right, and this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
Target.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Target.
To throw on 2nd is Watson. Going for the deep ball. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Reset.
A shotgun snap for Watson. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Brown. And now off to the races down the right side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. That's a tough spot as a quarterback, Charles. You want to get rid of it, but you see what can happen when you do try to get rid of it with pressure.
Yeah, and how about the pressure coming without them having to blitz? That's when you know things are clicking for your defense, and the end result, they end up gaining 6 points.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. Finding room at the 30. And finally taken down at the 36-yard line. That good for 19 and a first down.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice gain.
And a nice gain at 21 yards.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Watson throwing the out route incomplete. It's Hopkins, and he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Watson. And this is going to be incomplete. Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is watched by the quarterback, you throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB, and oftentimes you're able to knock it away, as we just saw there. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go, 46. Here we go, kill. Swing on the field, right. 26.
They start on the ground with Elliott. And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Here we go, 46.
A second down throw for Prescott. And a quick throw here that's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play.
Swing to the field, right. To the right. Let's go. Let's finish now. 26.
Now a play fake here on first down. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. Give him 30 yards there.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory. Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be second and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Second and goal from the 1. He's going to get it running right. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that is going to set up third and goal.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
There's Elliott. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up fourth.
They might think about going for it here, but it's still just the second quarter. Take the 3 points, tell the defense you believe in them, and let them get the ball back for you.
So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
They begin with a run by Miller. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Black 99 Philly. Come back, come back. Come back, come back.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. Then he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Hopkins. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Watson looks to throw again. Throw left side complete. That's Griffin. Now the ball comes loose. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Let's go. Let's finish now.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Here we go, 47.
10th carry now for Elliott. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on third down.
Here we go. Line 8. Done. Done. Number 46. Sweat. Sweat to 8. 46.
Prescott. And that's caught by Beasley. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. They give him 27 yards on the third down conversion. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. From the red zone now, Prescott. And it's caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Allen Hurns with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And a return across midfield into the 46-yard line. 1:52 left to play in this second quarter. We're back to Houston after this timeout. A first down carry by Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
46.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And now out comes Houston. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing again is Watson. He's going to sling this deep downfield. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Here's Austin. It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go. Wide 8. Here we go. 47. 47. 47. Here we go. Going to 54. Going to 54. Wide 8. 26.
They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A give to Elliott. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. They'll pitch it out to Elliott. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. On first down, it's Watson. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Play action for Miller. Now Watson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Sean Lee in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Looking deep downfield. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off Byron Jones. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. He's had it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
Hey, it's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept the pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. But that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
We're going to 54. Hey, 47. Swing to the field, right. To the right. 26.
Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Here go 46. 26.
This is Elliott. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. Prescott from the gun. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Whitney Merciless in there to get him well behind the line of scrimmage. Gosh, it's a loss of 17, and it'll be 4th down. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Ellington now to return it. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 24.
Black 99 Philly. Black 99 Philly.
They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That good for 19 and a 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but There are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Back to throw, Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and the Cowboys have recovered.
Well, we may not see it behind the big play sheet that they like to use, but I bet there's a big grin on the defensive coordinator's face. A corner blitz, what we often call a cat blitz. Usually they disguise it, Brandon. You're up on a receiver. It looks like you're going to bump and run with him, press coverage, and then he just takes off straight for the quarterback, and someone comes behind him to pick up the receiver.
And as a former member of the secondary, it makes you happy too, doesn't it? A battle for it, and it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, and he returns it up just shy of the 20 to the 19-yard line. But they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter defensively. They did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
After the interception, here's Watson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Watson throwing again. Miller on the catch over the middle. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Give him 7 on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Watson. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Taco Charlton in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Now Watson looking to throw on 2nd down. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. After the penalty, it's Elliott. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain there on 1st and 5, and it leaves him with a more standard 2nd down.
Let's go, get out, get out.
Second down, Prescott. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. To throw is Prescott. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. On 1st and 10, Prescott. Escaping the pressure right. And avoids the contact by sliding. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Cowboys with a football. They'll be looking to tack on to their lead as we get set for the 4th. Now Prescott. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The former #1 overall pick, Jadeveon Clowney. Leading the surge there, he drops him for a loss of 6. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Here's Elliott. And they'll get him down right around the 16. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And now out comes Houston. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Caught left side, Hopkins. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That'll put him at 66 receiving yards now for the game, and he's got a 1st down. Watson on 1st down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Hopkins. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And now here's another interception. Picked off Byron Jones. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down. Well, so they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And, you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number one is pure relief. Didn't give it up. But it's not the coach you're worried about yelling at you. It's those guys on defense who just intercepted the pass who want to break over there. Hey, take care of the football, man.
The Cowboys on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Zach Cunningham with a pick, and this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. So they get the takeaway, but that's just step one. They still have a lot of work to do.
But they don't want to focus on that now. Now it's about getting the ball in the end zone and hoping they can take it away again.
Yeah, still a 3-score game, though, 4th quarter.
Reset. Tiger.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Back to the air, Watson on 2nd down. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Now Watson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Jeff Heath, the strong safety, able to get in there on the coverage.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. This is caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Texans cut into that lead. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that cuts this lead down to 13. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. They find some open field here. Tavon Austin, he's going to go. The 20, 10, touchdown, Cowboys. Tavon Austin, 101 yards. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach, his head coach, to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules. And if you do, you're taking on some responsibility. But he was happy to do so there.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Throw left side complete. That's Griffin. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. And they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup. Now a first down throw, Watson. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Sean Lee in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. To throw is Watson, setting up the screen from Miller. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this third down play takes place. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. A shotgun snap for Watson. The catch made by Miller. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. From the gun, here's Watson. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Come back, come back.
Watson on third down. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better. And
all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Desperation time. Watson on fourth down. Open man is Miller. He's got it. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. From the red zone now, Watson. And a catch made by Hopkins. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a...
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. But I think a Texan player was able to get his hands on it, and they will indeed hold on to the ball and the possession. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game. Out of the gun, Watson. Incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away.
Now, he's been a busy man out of the backfield. They've looked his way quite a bit so far in this game.
Nice job there defensively, though, adjusting, because a couple of his earlier catches, he was wide open. Not that time.
You mentioned the key word, adjustment. A better cover man on him now in space.
Another shot from the 9 on second and goal. Here's Watson. Buying time to his left. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on third and goal? Here's Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. Steps away to his left. And he will have a touchdown. Deshaun Watson with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Texans get a bit closer.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
And the Cowboys are going to secure the football, and with it, they'll just about secure the victory as well. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Well, Prescott here to throw. He's going to go deep for Beasley. And this is taken in at the 5. Touchdown, Cowboys. Cole Beasley, his first touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Here comes Bruce Ellington on the return. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, Coach, what do you want to call? He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. That one good for 33 and a first. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is, because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for the Cowboys, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they'll return home next week to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for Houston, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they will get a home date next week as they will take on the Buffalo Bills. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.